So what if you've had a lymph node or many lymph nodes removed and you've got edema in your arm, which means your arm is full of fluid, lymph fluid, and that makes your hand puffy, and that can put a lot of pressure in the carpal tunnel and give you carpal tunnel syndrome from the fluid buildup. So what can you do? Well, first of all, you want to check with your doctor to make sure it's okay to get massage. And this is a type of massage that you can do for yourself that I'm going to demonstrate. But it's very important for you to talk to someone who knows your medical history, because if I was sitting next to you, I'd tell you the same thing. Check with your doctor, make sure it's okay. In many cases it will be, but in some cases it may not be. And I'm not going to make that call, and neither should you. And just ask if it's okay to get massage, and if you want to show the doctor this particular link, you can copy the link. I put it underneath the video there. But so check with them first. And anyway, the lymph system carries fluids in one direction. It's lymphatic fluid, and a lot of it is basically proteins that is gathered from in between the cells, and it cannot get into the bloodstream again directly because these protein cells are too big. It also contains lymphocytes, and these are very important in immune function because they attack and destroy foreign material, things that can be harmful to your body. Unfortunately, with cancers and certain other diseases, the cancer can flow through the lymph system, so that's why you want to check with your doctor to make sure you're not making things worse. Again, it depends if you're active in treatment or whether you're in remission or whatever, and that's not my call. That's not my department. You have to check with them. So anyway, what can you do? Okay, you've got permission. When a lymph node is missing, or many lymph nodes, the lymph, which flows in one direction, has to do something. So generally it'll back up until it finds a way out. Now if you try and back up a little stream, if you ever did that when you were a kid trying to dam a stream, eventually you're not going to dam all that water up. You may change it, but that water is going to find a way out. So just like that, lymph will find new channels. It will create new channels. And what you want to do is facilitate it to create new channels. Sometimes it happens that the lymph nodes have been removed years ago, and for some reason or other, the lymph channels have become blocked, and then you're getting edema again years later. Again, check. But again, you want to try and facilitate the lymph to make new channels. Now, the lymph system has no pump. The bloodstream has a heart, and also the movement of the muscles helps pump the blood. But the lymph is only moved by movement of the muscles, although gravity can help too. So you want to help it by moving your muscles and by using gravity. So first, you want to lay on your side. And I'll be laying on my side in a second to show you, but what you want to do is create a space for lymph to move into, and you want to do that by starting high in your arm and push the lymph. Actually, you're pushing along the skin. It's not as deep as a massage would be, although some people's massages, why bother? But anyway, you're moving a place for fluid to go. You're trying to just push things along, and if you can get someone to help you, so much the better. And now I'll go on my side and kind of demonstrate that a little bit. So, on my side, I'm doing the same thing, and this way, because I'm on my side, I'm using gravity to help me to just push things along. And like I said, you can get someone else to do that for you too. Just helping create space for more lymph to move in. And then you lay in your back. And as I mentioned, the movement of the muscle helps move the lymph fluid. So we're using gravity and the movement of muscle to get the lymph moving through the upper arm. Just very gentle. You're not, pumping iron here. It's just gentle movements of your arm. And push that lymph along. Again, you're creating space for the lymph in the forearm to move into. Right now we're just working on the upper arm. And it depends how puffy everything is, how long you do this. This is something you want to persist at. It's not going to probably happen, in one session. It's probably going to take many sessions, but it's something you can do yourself. And, if you get tired of one thing, you can switch to just like doing this or whatever. It's just helping force the lymph to move. And next, you want to open and close your hands. If you've seen the forearm video, you know that the forearm muscles are mostly responsible for the movement of the wrist and fingers. So this is usually where you get the most lymph buildup, unless you're really just, well, I should take that back, because some people, it's the whole arm is really, really puffed up. But you really want to get it away from your wrist area. But you start towards the elbow part. You also want to start the area that's closest to the heart to give room for everything else to move into. Now, if it's just fluid, it'll just be puffy, but sometimes if that fluid has been building up for a while, the proteins in there get kind of hard. And you'll feel them, they're just not going to flow. So it helps to break those up. A good thing to do is watch that video on the forearm, because you can use your forearm while you're sitting up and to break that protein up a bit. You can do it with your hand too. Just go around there and you'll feel it. It won't feel right. It's just things that you feel, I can break this up. But if your thumb is hurting doing this, just use your forearm and do it sitting up. And if you get tired of massaging your hand, you can just squeeze your hand up and down. And you can do this obviously sitting up as well, watching TV. Or if you've got a few minutes as you're going out the door, just raise your hand and move your hand a little bit. Every time you can think of it, just move your hand just to get that lymph flowing. Another thing you can do when you've done all that, it'd be good if you didn't need to, but is make a compression wrap. And this is just the old Ace bandage I've got. You want to start with the loose end in your palm of your hand and wrap it around. You're not going too tight. You don't want to cut off circulation. You just want to put some pressure there. And again, it's a little easier if someone with two hands can do this instead of doing it yourself. And you may have to experiment with how tight, because you don't want it too tight, because you don't want to cut off any circulation. You just want to help squeeze the lymph so it's not sticking in one spot. And this particular one sticks to itself with a little bit of Velcro on the end. But again, if you see your fingers start turning blue or red or whatever, it's going to be too tight. Now they do have compression sleeves. You can get them in a medical supply store. Usually they have to order them, and they have to measure you to make sure It's the right size. They'll measure you in a few places. And they're kind of a pain to put on. They're like support hose for the wrist, basically. And if the lymph massage isn't working for you, you can always try this. And of course, it's always a good idea to check with your doctor, okay?